I've never met anybody in this university that didn't know who Oscar Sill was.
Oscar contributes so much to the Tulane campus, to the fabric of Tulane.
Oscar is a Tulane institution.
He's the ambassador and knows everybody and knows everything.
Tulane. He is Tulane. Oscar is Tulane.
Oh, I think Oscar is indescribable.
He's Oscar. What else can you say?
You probably know this already, but Oscar used to run the entirety of computing services at Tulane. He did all the purchasing, he directed people to cable on campus, he did pretty much everything, soup to nuts. That was Oscar.
He was head operator, he was in charge of operations. Let's see, he's been here 40 years, 40 from 23, 40, 50, he was about 25 when he first came. So I guess he was pretty young.
First time I met Oscar was it would have been in the fall of 1976. I'd just gotten out of high school and I was going for my first job as a computer operator. I'd never seen a computer before in my life, and Oscar was kind enough to hire me on and got on-the-job training back in the day when computers were a different kind of animal.
I always used to tell people that the computer that we had in those days, this was the late 60s, between Oscar and myself, we knew every single thing there was to know about that computer. Can't do that anymore, but that's the way it was back then.
Do I have to say the truth? Can I exaggerate some?
Oscar, as with all of his jokes and everything, is very helpful, very, very nice, and most of all, he makes you feel comfortable.
Give you the shirt off his back kind of guy.
Oscar, as I said earlier, is one of those people who's prepared to do whatever's necessary to get the job done, and he's worked really hard whenever we've had a problem and whatever we needed to have done, and he does it always with a smile.
It was always a pleasure to have Oscar around. He made everybody feel good.
It is good to work with Oscar. If you ask Oscar to do something, he'll do it.
Oscar is probably one of the most customer-oriented people I've ever worked with. He will go out of his way to do something for a customer and will work extraordinarily hard to go above and beyond.
He's always looking out for the customer first.
Wonderful. He's a great guy. He's got a great sense of humor. He'll bend over backwards to help you. He's good.
Oscar? Oscar who?
He'll tell you the truth. But one thing about it, he can usually take it. If he tells you, but you can tell him back, so it's a pretty straight guy.
Oscar got quite a few wake-up calls from me at 3 o'clock in the morning. He never complained. If I needed him to come in, he would come in and fix whatever needed to be fixed and show me how to fix it. He's not only been a colleague of mine all these years, but he's been a good friend of mine too.
When my son got hit by a car, he came, visited, and brought my son a toy. And he happened to sit on the floor and play with him with the toy when he was about 4 years old.
He always has something kind to say. He always makes you feel good. I remember not too long ago when he simply said, in a telephone conversation, "Frank, I really enjoy working with you." And that made me feel good.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure working with Oscar and knowing him over the many, many years.
Let's see, 3 words to describe Oscar. I would say, Oscar, he's honest.
Genuine, sincere.
Friendly.
Outgoing.
Outstanding.
Exuberant.
Helpful.
Tender-hearted.
Loving. Entertaining.
Willing to help. Good-natured.
Nice.
Kind.
Hardworking.
Unavoidable.
Always friendly.
Will say anything.
Blunt.
Lovable.
Huggable. Like this. Give me some.
Bubbly.
Early lunch.
Generous.
Fun.
Zany.
Loud.
Cyclops. Upbeat.
Willing.
Loyal.
A little pushy.
Crazy.
Fun.
Friendly.
Caring.
Dedicated.
Friendly.
Playful.
Pleasant.
Friendly. Wonderful.
To the point. Funny. Funny.
Funny.
Funny.
Funny.
I can't say funny because some of his jokes are just way out there.
Oscar is fun-loving, funny, generous, sincere, kind, helpful. He's a Boy Scout, I think. I don't know how thrifty, brave, clean, and reverend he is, however.
Cyclops, that's his, that's his email address, cyclops@tulane.edu, and I didn't figure it out for a long time, and then he showed me. Luckily, it wasn't at lunch, but.
I just heard Chun Yin trying to describe something with an eyeball, and I don't know if that is true or not. So.
I heard he had trouble with an eye or something, but I really never did notice anything. One of them was really shiny. That's all I could think of.
I asked him how it happened, and he told me a story about when he was a kid, and he had gotten hurt in some kind of way, and they had to remove it. I just thought that, just must have took a lot of courage for him to go through life with that and, have such a positive outlook on everything he does.
That's why he's called Cyclops. Email,
It was a long time before I even knew that Oscar had just one eye.
But he never took it out for me. Thank God.
Well, I remember a health fair once on the main campus where they were doing glaucoma tests, and he didn't say anything to the young lady who was doing the test, and she was wondering why she couldn't get a good result on that one eye.
Or he would take the eye out and leave it in a water glass for people to discover. Sight gags, you might say.
I remember when I first heard Oscar's email address, I wondered why he was called Cyclops. And then he took off his glasses and proceeded to poke himself in his eye.
He likes to demonstrate to people who don't know he has a glass eye that he can take a fork and tap his eye with it.
You should ask him about that. He does a little pen trick with it.
See, when I do that, Oscar, it hurts. Did I get the right side?
Can you hear that? Is that enough? I've only done that a few times and freaked out a few waitresses, but
He takes it all in stride. It's never hindered him looking at the girls.
One of the things that Oscar's always been great about is lunch. That regardless of what we were doing or where we needed to go, if we wanted to go have lunch, we could count on Oscar coming to have lunch with us and having a good time doing it.
One of Oscar's great joys is good food, and he's always very willing to share that with others, whether that means driving to a new lunch spot and taking along everyone who will fit in his van, or bringing a guy like me a big old bowl of his gumbo, delicious gumbo. He's always happy to share that joy.
We're leaving for lunch one day when we're approaching the railroad tracks.
There was maybe 5, 6 of us in the van, and we were going to the little buffet place out there in Clearview, and we were going up Leak Avenue toward River Road. And we were just driving along, and we were coming up to the train tracks.
Of course, the overgrowth was blocking the view of the train that was approaching the intersection.
No one heard any train track sirens or bells or whistles and anything, but by the time we got on the track,
just all of a sudden out of nowhere, the train blew its horn. Everybody in the van just jumped.
The train is literally like, just literally right on us. So he has to slam on the gas, get across the track, and everybody in the car is just holding on for dear life.
I think Oscar needed to change his shorts after that.
All for lunch at 11 o'clock with Oscar.